Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel and another puzzle today. This one, we have another fog puzzle, which I love. They're one of my favorite types. This one is called Breadcrumbs Through the Fog by Megan033, who I've done a puzzle up before, and that also was quite excellent. So I'm hoping this will be just as good. So let's get into this. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So it means every row, every column, and every 3x3 box contains the digits 1 through 9 once each. A black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2-to-1 ratio, which are these. A white dot between cells indicates cells with consecutive values, which are these. Not all dots are shown. Those are called Kropki dots. So essentially just means this, if this is a 3, this could be a 6. This was a 2, this could be a 4, and then the consecutives, this was a 2, this could be a 3 and a 4, something along those lines. Then we've got the grid is partially covered with fog. Correctly placing digits will clear the fog around that cell. So as you can see, everything is covered with fog except for this one little spot. So let's get into this one and see how far we can get and how much fun it's going to be. So I think there's probably only one place to start with this one, unless for some reason you can determine what this digit is. So we've got to start here. So we've got a combination of Kropki dots that meets in the center. So what are the possibilities of the Kropki dots? Well, on a black Kropki dot, we know you can either be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, or 8. In this instance, we obviously can't do 3 and 6 because there's no other digit that goes with 3 and 6. If this was a 3, this would be a 6. This would have to be, either another 3 or a 12, so that doesn't work. So these digits have to be from 1, 2, 4, and 8. Now, this one obviously can't be 1 or 8, because if this was 1, these would both have to be 2. If this was 8, these would both have to be 4. So we've got a situation now where we've got either a 2 or a 4 in the middle of 3 consecutive digits. So the question would be, can this be a 1? If this was a 1, or if this question is, could this be a 2? That would force either this one or this one to be a 1 and the other one to be a 3. So we'd have a 1, 2, 3. This would have this 2 here then would have to have a 1 and a 4 on either side of it. We've already used the 1, so that doesn't work. So this has to be a 4. Now that we know these are 4, that is a 4. These can't be 1, and they can't be 4. So there's a 2, 8 pair. These on the other side have to be 3 and 5 to be consecutive. Now we've got, these can either be 1 or 3, go with a 2, or they could be 7 or 9, so that doesn't do a whole lot there. Now, what about this digit? Now, if this ended up being the 3, this would have to be 2 or 4, so that doesn't work. So this has to be a 5, this has to be 3, and now we know we've got 3, 4, 5, this has to be 6. Okay, it's a good start. I'm not going to add these in yet, but we do have a black Kropki dot here now. Black Kropki dots can never have 7 or 9 on them. So if that can't be 7 or 9, this can't be 8. So this is the 2 and this is the 8. This therefore can't be 1 or 3. Now this can't be 9 because it would have to go 8. Well, no, that's not true. It could be 9. It could go 8, 9, 8. So let's not go there. This could also be, well, this actually might give us something. If this is 9, like I said, this has to be an 8. If this is 7, this would be 8, 7, and either 6 or 8. It can't be 6, so no matter what you do, this has to be an 8. Now, let's look back at this one. This can't be the 3 because this would force this to be a 6. So therefore, that's a 1. Now this 1 forces this to be a 2. We need to have, what's left in this row? We need a 3 somewhere. 3 can't go on this consecutive because it would have to be consecutive with 2 or 4, and those both see that. So it has to be a 3 over here somewhere. We need a 5. A 5 can never be on a black Kropki dot. It could be here to go with a 5, 6. And the other two are 7 and 9, and this can't be 7, or 9. So it can't be 5, 7, or 9. So the only options here are 3 and 6. Now this can't be 6 because it would force this to be 3. There's 3 here, but we also know the 3 has to be up here. So this is 3 and this is 6. Now 6 is either going to go with 5 or 7. What did I say? We've got 7 and 9, which, going back to this Kropki dot here, the white one, these have to be consecutive. There's only 2 digits left in this row that are available that can be consecutive. Those are 5 and 6. So that forces this to be 7, 9, which therefore forces this to be 5. This is either going to be 4 or 6. I wanted to make sure I was in the right tab on that one, so I didn't actually put a digit in there and reveal some fog. Now we know with this 2 here, 2 can only go there. These have to be from 1 and 4. If this is 1, that forces this to be 2. If this is 4, it forces it to be 2 or 8, which are valid options. Now, if this was a 2, it would have to be 3, 4, which works. If it's 8, it would have to be 7, 6, which works. But that doesn't work, actually, if we continue on. So if this was 8, like I said, it can't go up to 9, because then it can't go up to 10, so it has to be 8, 7, 6. And once you put a 6 here, this forces this to be a 3, but there's a 3 there, so this has to be the 2. And now, this still could be 1 or 4. But the consecutive digit now is either, well, it can't go down to 1, so it has to go up to 3, and then it has to continue up to 4. This is going to be either 2 or 8, but it can't be 2, so it's got to be 8. 8 now can't go up to 9, so it's got to be 7 and 6. And do we have anything in this row that we can use? We know we still need a 1, but that can go anywhere. We need a 5 and a 9 as well, and they can all go anywhere. So that's not too useful. Where else can we go? So if this is a 5, it cannot go down to 4 now because of this 3. Because this is 5, 4, 3. So this has to go up to 6, and then it has to continue up to 7, which gives me the 9 and the 7. And where would be the next place to go? Well, here we can look at this a little bit. You can't put a 6 on any of these digits, so it can't be 3, 6. So this has to be from 1, 2, 4, and 8. These are not 1 or 2. This is not 2. So this is a 4, 8 pair, so this can't be 1. So this is a 4, 8, 4, or 8, 4, 8 in that direction. There's nothing in the other direction to see that. So that forces, if this is the 4, this would have to be 3 or 5, which it cannot be because we have a 3 and a 5. So this is 8, so therefore that's 4, and that's 8. Now that 8 either goes down to 7 or up to 9. I don't know which one just yet. Can we do anything with this column? We need a 3 somewhere. We need a 5 somewhere. We need a 7 and a 9, so that's not too helpful. What's left in here? We need a 7, a 1, and a 9. So it doesn't really do me too much good, but I'll put those in. We know this can't be a 7. Actually, we know this can't be a 1 either. So we've got the 1 there, so that doesn't do too much. So we need to put in here a 3. That's not too useful at this moment. So what other dots can we use? Well, we got a 6 here, so this once again can't be from that 3, 6 variety, but there's not a whole lot more that we could figure. Well, this can't be 1 because it can't be in the middle of a 3 consecutive digit, so that's not 1. That's at least a little something. It could be 8 because it could still be 9, 8, 7. It couldn't be 9, 8, 7 this way, obviously, because of that. Do we have any just basic Sudoku? It looks like we do. There has to be a 2 down here. these two digits have to be 1 and 4. Any other base Sudoku that we can do? There's not too many 1s. There's a bunch of 2s, so maybe there is something there. But it doesn't look too profitable. Okay, how about the 3s, maybe? There has to be a 3 in one of these. Don't really like that. 4s. There has to be a 4 down here somewhere. I don't know that the Sudoku is gonna really take us too far. Let's just look through it real quick just to make sure. So there has to be a 6 up here, but this is just getting me kind of pittances and not much solving. There has to be a 7 on this one. Okay, that's something. So we know there's a 7 here. It can't have a 6 with it because we just proved there's a 6 over here by Sudoku, so that Sudoku actually helped. So therefore it has to be 7, 8. That tells us what these digits are, but would that help me much? They have to be from 5, 6, and 9. It does not. Can this ever have a 3? The answer right there is no, because it would have to have a 2 on either side. There's already a 2 here, so this is not 3. Could this ever be 3? Well, it couldn't be 3, 2, 1. It could be 3, 4, 5. So that would work. In fact, we know there has to be a 5 down here somewhere. Okay. Back to this row. I still don't think we've figured anything out because we still need the 1, 5, and the 9. Let's make sure I'm not missing any obvious clues. This has to be 3 in a row, but there's not a whole lot preventing this from being a bunch of different things at this time. Same kind of goes with this. So what other clues are going to help us here? What about this? Do we know anything about what this can be? Well, it has to have a 4 on it. Don't like it. Can we do anything else here, maybe? Can this be a 2? We could do 1, 2, 3. That works perfectly fine. We can't go back the other way. So maybe this digit is going to be important because we've already determined a couple of things. It could be a 1. We know that. It couldn't be a 3. If this was the 8, we said it can't be 9, 8, 7, so it would have to be 9, 8, 7 that way. And then if it's a 4, we have to have 3 and 5, and this once again can't be 3, so this have to be 5. I don't think that really did anything for us. Yeah, so that might not have been the best place to look. I'm just going to write these in real quick. What did I say they were? 5, 6, 9. This is not 6. There has to be an 8 down here as well. One of these has to be an 8. Can this ever be an 8? The answer is no, because it has to have 9 and 7 flanking it. There's a 7 right there, so that's not 8, which forces this to be 8, and it forces this to be 3, and here we go. Now, we said this can't be 3, 2, 1. It has to be 3, 4, 5. That 4 gives me 1 and 4. The 5s are gone. What are these actually, though? They're 1 and 9. 1 and 9. We'll put those in. This 4 right here gives me a 4 here. Those can go away. Can we now determine this bad boy? Because it has to be 3 digits in a row. Could be 1, 2, 3. Obviously can't use 4, 5, or 7, so therefore it has to be 1, 2, 3. This can't be 2. This can't be 3. This could never be 1 because it's in the middle, so this is the 2. We could have just used some basic logic to figure that out before, but that's okay. The 1 and the 3 are not differentiated just yet, but it does tell me that these 3 digits are 6, 8, and 9. Now this can't be 6 or 8, so it's not 9, not 8. This is 8, this is 7, this has to be 6. That gives me 5 and 6. And an 8 here removes this as being an 8, so this can't be a 9. 2 and 4, those could still be there. One of these has to be a 5, which makes this a 5. Okay, so we've got the 7 here, looks at this, so that's a 9, that's a 1, that's a 9. This is now a given 2. There it is. So this is not 2. These are given, sort of. They are 1, 3, and 5. We know that's not 5. We know this is not 1. These two are 6 and 7. Those are not determined yet either. Do we have anything pointing in here? No, we got 1, 5, and 9. This can't be a 5 over here, so it's either 1 or 9. Okay. 2s and 1s. Yeah, we got most of these figured, so I'm going to look at Sudoku, see if anything's popped up since last looking. Well, got an X-wing on 1s here. Means there's no 1s in any of those. So there has to be one up here, which you could have just seen by looking at the column. Well, we can actually use this column for better, because there's a 7 here, so where does the 7 go? It has to go down here, which then gives us the 6. Now we know these have to be 1 and 6. Let's get rid of you. We've got an X-wing now on 1s, so that's not a 1. This now cannot be, well, it could be 4, 2, 1 still. 8, 4, 5 still. Okay, so they do still work. Did we remove anything from these guys over here? We did not. I was going to say we have an X-wing on 6s as well, but it doesn't matter because we already have that. This one here, is this going to give us anything? What are these two? And then we'll come back to those Kropki dots. So they could be 3, 5, and 7. Now this can never be 7 because it can't be consecutive 2 or 4, so that forces this to be the 7. That gives us the 8 and the 7. Got that 3, 5 pair going down there. Excuse me. And next on the list, there's got to be something up in here we can figure, right? Let's go back to our Sudoku again and see if that highlights anything. So we know one of these is a 2. We know one of these is a 2. 3s, we've got the 3 over here. We don't have much else. Let's look at the 4s. I'm not seeing a whole lot. 5s. We know one of those was a 5. We know one of these is a 5. 6s. Almost done with 6s, but remember we still have the X-wing up there. The 7s. There's a 7 in one of these two. It's not really helpful. Oh, here we go. This is the 8. I just couldn't see it. So this has to be an 8, which then forces this to be the 4. This has to be the 2. This is a 1 and a 4. That's a 6 and a 1. This is not a 6, so this is a 6. Let's get rid of those. This 4 is consecutive with a 5, which means this has to be a 3. We've got a 5 here, so these are 9 and 5 and 1. This is a given 9. Did we cross out a 2? We did. So that's going to give us this 9, which gives us a 1 and a 3 and a 1. And this last digit up here is the 5, and you are the 3. This is not a 1 anymore. Okay, so we should be almost done here. This 1 here is going to give us our 3, 5, 1, and we got some music going on down there. Always lovely. That 4 gives us a 4. That 3 over there is now in. Those haven't been determined yet. We got 7s and 9s. So this is 9, this is 7, this is 9, and this is 7. And if I didn't mess anything up, I completed the puzzle. Cool. Yay, congrats. So another excellent puzzle from Megan033. Another fun Fog of War. I don't know what it is about them, but I just enjoy the Fog of Wars because you kind of get pointed at certain areas where you can start and things just start opening up, and it's just wonderful. Anyway, thanks for following along on this little foggy journey, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.